want that whole like, hey, I went here, this was my experience. Are you looking for digital nomad? Yeah, come on in. There's a sign-in sheet going around, please put your name on it. And so this is sort of the agenda. I always have something so that way you have an idea like what we're going to cover. So with that, this is the yearly agenda so far. This has been going on since last year. So for those who are getting into it or those who are passing through, this is what I've covered so far. I've had a lot of people who are digital nomads already. They come to the class and they've done like 1 or 2 months and then they're off to another place, right? So like it's a rotating environment here because that's the idea. Like if you are coming through and then you're here for like a full year, then maybe you're transitioning to something else. But again, I meet a lot of people who come in, they do the class, and then they jet off to somewhere else, you know, to continue their lifestyle. But yeah, this is the whole part right here. I haven't continued further because I have to see what my contract's going to be with Capital Factory. But if it goes through, then by December, if you attend again, then you'll see everything from like January all the way to May. So, and then depending on my schedule, if I go back out to traveling. So I have to see if I'm going to go back to full-time traveling pretty soon. So I'll see what that's like. But on that note, I will tell you why I'm going to be going back to traveling. So with that, we'll do introductions. So I'm Chris. I help people transition out of 9 to 5 to digital nomad lifestyle. I help build remote teams, show you how to automate everything, and make it more enjoyable. So that way you can get the most out of the experience. The biggest thing that I get from people is the burnout, because they do everything themselves, right? Like they're doing their ads, they're running their websites, they're doing their social media. So like it's a burnout. But if you know how to work it correctly, then it can get real easy, right? Real easy. Okay, come on in. So with that said, we will do a 30-second intro. We'll start on this side right here. I know, starting on the spot. But just real quick, name, where are you from, do you currently work remote, and then have you ever tried running online business before, and what do you hope to get out of tonight for that?
My name is Kamari. I'm originally from Los Angeles. I do currently work remotely, and I am running my business. I am a publisher.
Oh, nice, okay. Perfect. Great.
Hi everyone, my name is Rajiv. I'm from Dubai, and I have an AI company.
What part of Dubai?
I'm in central Dubai.
Okay, yeah, very nice. Yes.
I have an AI company that I'm looking for partners all over the world
Okay.
to partner up with.
Can I ask what kind of AI?
Social media marketing.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
My name's Aaron. I'm from Boston.
All right.
I'm in Austin for income tax purposes.
Okay.
You
will hear that a lot.
And yeah, like I've run my own consulting businesses since for like 6-7 years now.
Nice, okay.
Just want to hear from other people about their experiences. I just like retired, fired, and like I have some up and down experience. Just want to hear from other people too.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what we're here for. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I want to do this so that way you know who to talk to later on, right? So.
Yeah. So I'm Evelina. I'm originally from Poland, and yes, I tried running an online business online. It's more of a part-time thing. I've been doing that for 2 years or a year. And now we're working on a project that's designed for digital nomads. So that's also why I'm here. We're going for an adventure and living the digital nomad lifestyle to cater the best for our target audience.
Very nice. All right.
Yeah, I'm Eric. I'm from Norway. I work with Evelina, so we're traveling together. We're building the ultimate portable monitor for digital nomads.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah, we're here just to. We've been in San Francisco for a week, talking with both potential users and investors.
Okay.
And now we're moving to Austin, and then we'll see what we'll do next step.
Nice. Okay.
So we're here for at least a week.
Okay. All right. Nice. Thank you.
My name is Casper. Well, it's funny how people from the same country sit in the same room talking about it. I live in Poland.
Okay.
And I came to Austin for 2 weeks to make connections, mostly with local tech community and startups. I'm a headhunter. I started as a headhunter 18 years ago. I worked with Microsoft, I've been working remotely since 14 years. Since 4 years, I run my own business. You can call it an online business,
Sure,
it's
sure.
a hunting business. And I'm here for connections, so I'm happy to know as many people as possible in
Yeah.
local
Absolutely.
tech scene.
Yeah, so like the whole point of this also is for me to add on the social component because like I have the classroom style, but I also want the informal networking thing, right? So eventually like by December, January, I should have a spot located in Austin that you can go have some drinks, talk to some people like, hey, what's it like here, what's it like there? Because I've learned in the digital nomad community, people want to know like what is business like in other countries, right? Like what is it like when I land here, what should I know, what should I do? And that whole network that you all provide, that's valuable. Yeah, so yes, thank you. Good. Okay.
Hey, my name's Dal, originally from New York City Metro, trying out sort of a digital nomad thing to see like if I like it, if I want to do it long term. I'm currently running my own thing. I'm launching something next week. And yeah, just hoping to hear how people that have done it for a while, that are pros, do the digital nomad lifestyle, as opposed to just like YOLO.
I like that. Okay. Alright.
My name is Mihai, I'm from Romania, and I congratulate everyone that is a digital nomad, and we welcome
Yeah.
people who are making this step. It's a huge step, but it can be very rewarding. I own a business where we do a lot of creative work, illustration, graphic design, branding, and we have a pool of top creatives, which we work with them online, and we develop all sorts of products, platforms, you name it.
Nice. Awesome. Great. Alright. Thanks.
I'm Ethan. I'm originally from Austin, and then I left in April to start my digital nomad journey.
Cool.
And now I live on a sailboat in San Francisco, and I do a little bit of AI consulting.
Alright. I like it. Is the AI controlling the sailboat?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not that I know of.
Okay, good. Alright, thanks.
My name is Aniket Handa. I'm from the Seattle area.
Okay.
Been there for like 10 years.
Wow.
Worked for corporations there, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me just start traveling and just have something of my own.
Yeah.
Worked so since 2022, I've been a digital nomad, and worked on a startup myself, and past few months I've been like kind of trading it and done something else.
Okay.
It's called OpenBnB now. It helps digital nomads like kind of book rentals directly from the host.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay any fees.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm here in Austin for 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I would say it's an online business.
Is there any part of Austin you've enjoyed so far that you're just like, I really like this? You know, anything?
I was here like last weekend. Just been like 2 days that I've been here. I did enjoy all the East Austin stuff and the central partying area that I was there last night. Oh, on Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah, all the food stuff. I don't think I have some specific recommendations yet.
Okay, alright.
Oh yeah, the last weekend I really enjoyed the open studio, like art studio, which was happening.
Okay.
But that's like done now. But I think I want to be back again here for it again.
Wow.
So it's like kind of running away from Seattle's rain and cold, being in Austin. Yeah.
I bet. I mean, like, what was it? Just warm the other day, and now we just have some rain, and it's gonna be humid again. And, you know, maybe it'll get cold this week. Cold.
The rain was not bad. It was
Oh, I know. It's Seattle's different. Seattle's rain all the time.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Andrew. I'm from, I don't know, Singapore, but I worked in tech for a few years.
Okay.
I was in Bali this last summer for a month, and I quit my job recently because my boss was paying me too low, so I'm just doing
How to do it.
yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I like to travel a lot, and I'm kind of waiting for the dry season, so I'll probably just jet back to Bali in like April-ish. Right now it's wet season.
So does anybody have questions about Bali? Because there's the guy.
Oh yeah, if anybody has questions about Bali.
Like Bali is like the digital nomad haven where people run to, right? Like I have so many people that come in those like, I want to start this lifestyle. Should I go to Bali? I had one girl literally like saved her $20,000. Like I want to go right now. So don't do that. Don't do that. You are not prepared. You know, so yes, I mean, I'm sure you get a lot of that, and I'm sure you come across the young people that are just like, I just moved here, what should I do, right?
Yeah, definitely a lot of people there, and a lot of things to do.
Yeah, I mean, but isn't it now crowded and?
Yes. Well, actually, it's less crowded because it's like the wet season.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's raining a lot, but
Right.
when it comes to April, it'll be like dry season, and the surf will be better. So like birds will just migrate there.
Why is Bali popular? It's just the weather.
So it's that, but it's also the fact that it's cheap, right? But the other issue is that because there's also so many people moving there, now the costs are like starting to go up a bit, right? And that's the irony. It's like Bali is still sort of cheaper than Austin, obviously, you know, because Austin's a very expensive city to live in. But it's getting to the point where like you go to Bali and now it's like you're still paying almost $700, $800 for rent in some places, you know. So I try to keep track of a lot of that stuff, but like even in Singapore, you know, I keep track of those areas for digital nomads, and Singapore is a lot harder of a time to scrape by in, you know. Whereas like Dubai is sort of that paradise of like playground and parties and, you know, stuff. But they also have the 1 billion creators conference in January.
Yeah.
Are you going to that?
Yeah.
Have you all heard of that? So 1 billion creators conference basically is if you bring in all the biggest influencers around the world, what should you eventually come to? 1 billion followers, right? You know, so that's the idea. Is that
Picturing a cruise missile hitting the conference.
Is it 1 billion followers? Or?
Yeah, 1 billion influencers. Or, yeah.
1
No,
billion
1 billion
followers.
creators, sorry.
1 billion summits.
Yeah. 1 billion summit, Dubai. And it is a big thing, and so a lot of people in different verticals, right? Like you have the food, you have the unboxing, you have the travel, you have like all kinds of stuff, like cars and things that are going there, and then they have all these workshops and panels and like experiences, like, hey, I was just starting out. So the younger crowd goes in, it's like, hey, I want to be that, what do I need to do, right? So the thing that makes it so interesting is, do you know what Dubai just did last year for creators? Now they have a program that allows them to apply for grants and living stipends, you know, the first government in the world to do that for online creators. So I don't think we will ever get that here, because YouTubers are still not recognized as like a job here, right? Like over there, they want that economic impact, right? But here it's very different, you know. So, but yeah. So with that, this is some news that came out. I always like to share this stuff because most people are not looking for it. So right now, the Nordic countries are offering a free experience to go live there. So you can apply, and for about 3 to 4 months, they will pay for your living stipend. They will give you free co-working space. It runs from January all the way to April. I had to actually apply for this. So I applied for all of it because why not, right? It's a free program. You basically just have to pay to get there. They take care of everything else, right? And so this was, I believe, in Forbes. And it's 3 different companies. And the reason for that is, what do digital nomads bring to communities? Business, what else? Diversity and anything else? Your skill set, yes, money, yes, your skill set, right? So a lot of the countries that are in the Nordic region right there, the places that are trying to pull in the digital nomads, their populations are less than 500, they're less than 1,000, right? So they want to bring in a lot of people with skill sets. They want to bring in that stuff, so that's why they're offering so many incentives to get you to go, right? So this other company will pay you $10,000 to travel the world. That's $10,000 per month, okay? Now, the weird thing about this company was that it's a browser company. Yeah, I know, see, that's what I thought too. Who's still making browsers? Right, like, they're
Mozilla Firefox.
The name of the company is called Shift, and they want to hire somebody to travel the world and visit at least 52 countries within a year or 2, okay? And for that, you will post content, you will show how the browser, I guess, is improving your travel experiences and growing your business and things like that. And you can look at these names and stuff because, like, I looked at it, over 30,000 people already applied. Because $10,000 a month to travel the world and everything's paid for, and you just go and just help promote this company. I mean, they must have a big budget for that, right? And apparently there's still business in making browsers. So I don't know who's jumping on that, but yeah. And then right now there's 66 countries with the digital nomad visa programs, and they will show you how to apply for every single one of them. Like all the little ins and outs, all that kind of stuff, right? So this helps you kind of navigate like the windows for visas, right? Like for those that have traveled, you know some of those windows are very short, and some of those windows are very iffy, right? So applying for all this stuff gets a little tricky, but they go in and they basically show you like, hey, if you're going to be doing this region, and you're eventually going to go down to this region, apply for this here, do this, and just shows you the process, right? Just like a travel hack or something, you know. And Italy, which I've also applied for as well. Sardinia is a little island off the coast of Italy that is basically paying people to go live on this island, right? And you go there for about a month or 2 or 3, and they will pay you to be on an island. There's a catch. Anybody want to guess what that catch is?
Is it like you have to buy a old house and
No.
renovate it?
No.
You don't know.
It's an
Those are
island.
like-
You gotta spend them
Try to
on
find
the
everyone
Yeah.
to see who survives.
Yeah, documentation of the market.
What do you need to be a digital nomad?
Laptop.
What does your laptop need in order to do
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
A portable monitor.
That's right. So you can bring Starlink, but there's no internet on the island. Okay. I know everybody's faces are just like, I can't do this. So right there, you have all these countries in that region trying to just get your business, right? They will pay you. So the caveat to that is you're going to come and share your knowledge with the community on the island. And for that, they will pay you, the right room and board, all that stuff, food, all those things. And you just share like what you're an expert in, right? And that's it. And you can stay for a month or 2. And the people who've already done it, they've written about their experience. And some of them are just like, it's amazing, it's a lot of fun. You find out very quickly there's more animals on the island than people. And there you spend your time at these amazing beaches and kind of like wondering like, is this it? You know, I'm in paradise. But on the house thing, they also give you the option to buy a house for $1 as long as you put in, I think it's like $4,000 into renovations, which there's actually a grant that you can fill out and they will give you the $4,000 to do that. You know, so. But let's remember here, there's no internet. So don't go thinking we're going to go to get a house on an island, okay? So, yeah. All right, so a little humor. Who here has done that? Who's already done that? Say, I know. We go traveling, we start getting out there, and all of a sudden, like, now we're going to change the world. And then you find out I have too many ideas. I can't actually do it all. So, alrighty, so where to start your journey? For a lot of you, this is going to be like, yes, I've been through this stuff, and for you, it was just like, maybe like, hey, I got to get out of here, right? Who here had that moment where they're just like, look, I'm never going to get to Italy, I might as well just go and find it out, right? There was a girl who wrote, You Deserve Good Gelato. Her whole life, she knew she just could not afford to get to Italy, and she hated her job, she did all this stuff, until finally she just said, you know what, you're never getting to Italy, go buy the ticket, just go. And she did. There were some growing pains with it, and she got there and then met her future husband, and then she started a TikTok channel, and then it grew into a following, and that's how the book got written. You know, she was picked up by a publisher, and from there, her life just, she moved everything to Italy, you know. Those are all the glamorous stories, right? But like, we don't get to hear like all the flame out stories like those because they never got published, right? You know, so with that research, you know, find out like, hey, what is it like? Who here uses, what's your favorite site to use for like research when you go to a different place? Anybody want to throw out some names? Like when you're going to go, you're like, is it expensive? Like, what is the cost? Like internet? Like, you know, is it safe? Like anybody?
Reddit.
Red. Yeah, red's gonna be said so many times tonight. Anybody use Nomads, which used to be Nomad List?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Really? By Peter Levels?
No.
Really? Okay, yeah, so he basically created this site.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he created a site that just shows you all the different cities, right? And it just breaks down all the things that you need to be aware of, like what's the Wi-Fi like, what is the cost like, what is food like, what is safety like, you know? This gives you a good full picture of like, if I'm gonna move there, what am I expecting to start paying every month? You know, can I go out on the streets and be safe? You know, things like that, you know? So that's why I was like, ask people like, what do you use to do your research? And Peter Levels just updated his site. It went from nomadslist.com to now it's just nomads.com. Cause if y'all know, he was in town like 2-3 months ago, did a big podcast interview, and he talked about like all the products he's working on. So Peter Levels is somebody who does like anti-startups. Do y'all know what that is? So an anti-startup is like, you're not trying to build a company, you just want a product that produces a passive income, right? Like, so like photoai.com, if you go there, literally all you're doing is paying to upload your photos to create like a professional headshot. And that's it, right? And that just produces a passive income for him, you know? So who here creates stuff like that?
It's still a startup.
Well, I mean, like, he just built it and it runs and he has like a coder check it every now and then.
Yeah.
But he's not trying to have employees,
Yeah.
you know, so, yeah. All right, next one, remote work portfolio, you know. So for some people who work for other people, based on gig work, you know, having that portfolio helps put you out there, like it gets you in that market, right? There's a lot of people I know who've gone on to Fiverr, they've gone on to Upwork, and instead of being sort of like a freelancer, they create an agency, right? They create the agency, and then they literally go and hire all these freelancers under the agency, and then just grab all this work, right? And then they get the paychecks, you know, so. But that's a good place to start right there, because they want to know, like, have you done it before, you know? And for some people, running an agency on Upwork, they can hit 7 figures, you know, so. And then, of course, the budget, right? Like, if you're going to go, you got to figure out your expenses. So who here has traveled almost for free? Okay, do you want to share like sort of how you did it?
So I guess, yeah, almost for free. So I spent, but then it was like 50-50, you know, like digital nomad and like full-time living. But
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I did an Erasmus exchange, so I lived in Portugal
Okay.
for like 5 months, and I had a free discrete grant.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like almost covered for
Uh-huh.
certain things.
So there was another person that I think was last month, they did the house sitter gig stuff. So they look for the house sitting jobs around the world, and they will go and see like, what's the longest period I can find to house sit, right? If they can do like 1 or 2 months, they will take that gig, right? And then that allows them to go to that country, stay there, experience things, do that kind of stuff. And now they can go back to another place that has another like 2 to 3 month period, right? For them, that's an easy way of making money. They get to travel, and it's pretty much just trying to get there, you know. So, anybody done that kind of stuff? No? So, okay. There's also, so a lot of those programs that I mentioned is the reason why I apply for that stuff, because like it's so easy to travel and get paid for it, right? There's those programs like Whoop. Who here knows Whoop? Guess we're not working on farms anymore. So Whoop basically allows you to pick a farm that needs help, right? And in return, they're going to provide you food, shelter, all that stuff. They'll pick you up from the airport, and you get to stay there. And then in return, you help with their farm, and you get to explore the country, right? And that's it. Like, you just have to get the airline ticket and go. You look confused.
I was like, people don't need work visa for this, or?
No, I mean, like, you can go on a tourist visa, because remember, there's no money exchange, right?
Okay.
You know, so once money is exchanged, then you cannot enter on a tourist visa, right? But yeah, a lot of people travel like that, because again, it's a great, cheap way to see the world. And then guess what? While you're there, you build all those relationships, right? Like, when you were in Austin, did you go to a lot of events for networking before you're about to take off? Right? Yeah, exactly. Like you want that huge community, so every time you land in a new city, like, hey, I'm gonna be here, you know, let's have a drink, you know, catch up, things like that. So when you land in a new city, you have your network waiting for you, right? You know, for some people, that's just so incomprehensible, right? It's just like, that's too many people to know. But Well, that's how billionaires live, right? You know, so, yeah. So you've developed a routine, and you kind of stick to it, you know. I know for some of this, it's probably like, hey, I've already been doing this. And for others, it's like, well, what is that routine? Like, do I cover like this part of the world, this, you know, during these seasons, and do I cover this part of the world during these seasons? Who here knows the actual itinerary that all billionaires follow every year?
You have to plus Long Beach.
There's a lot more in between.
Oh, okay. That's up to like some, you know,
All right, so like,
Bozeman, or like Jackson Hole.
so there's, actually, if you've never seen this video, it is a very, very good video. In fact, I created a little business around it. Yeah, there it is. How the world's wealthiest people travel, right? And in that video, it actually lays out the entire map for the year, okay? And it just shows you all the big events that these people have on their calendar, right? Like it's just already booked on their schedules. They already know that the jets are ready to go, all that stuff, right? Why do they do that? Don't they have jobs?
Network.
Network, yeah, right? Like when you get out of a 9-to-5 job and you start networking and you start going to parties and you start going to events, what happens to your life? It's freedom.
Like, you open opportunities,
Right,
right?
yeah. Right, like I network, I go to events, I go to parties all the time, so my income levels is way higher than if I work a 9-to-5, right? Because I'm stuck to a schedule, and my income can only go so high. But if I go to events and events and events, I meet so many clients, I meet so many people, I meet so many opportunities, that I see all this stuff around the world. This is why billionaires' net worth goes this way, and most people's incomes go this way, right? Why is that?
The stock market.
Yes. So when you're networking, and you're going to parties, like they're gonna tell like, hey, I'm starting this company, do you want to invest? Hey, I'm gonna be doing this, do you want to be a partner? This is why their net worth skyrockets, whereas everybody else's net worth slowly grows, right? And there's the reason for that, right? That's why Dubai is the rich person's playground. That's why London has the financial markets, Canary's Wharf, all that stuff. You have the, you know, thin boys who make a lot of money. So that's why when I saw this, I was just like, this is very interesting, because if you want to expand your network, follow that map. So there's just one caveat to that. Do y'all know what that is? Because remember, your job as a digital nomad is to keep your expenses low.
You need money
To get close to that route,
yeah, you need
is,
money.
right, exactly. It's like looking at the sun, right? Like you're gonna burn out. If you try to follow that path, you're gonna spend so much money trying to chase these rich people that you're probably gonna burn out in the first 2 events, right? Like who goes to the yacht show in Dubai? Nobody raised their hand. He's laughing, he knows. You know, I mean, like the amount of money, like Monaco, like who goes to Monaco to see the racing, right? You know,
It's like a building block.
It is
So
a
you
building
figure
block.
out where like, you know, Austin's like a tier 3 city. So
Yes.
where are like the rich people in Austin going? They go to like Westwood Country Club, they go to like art shows and fundraise, you know, it's like.
Right, exactly,
Move up
yes.
the ladder.
I think also if you go to the Formula 1 and you kind of want to flip it, so okay, you pay the ticket to go there and all that stuff, you're watching the race from a boat, but you need to have something to offer, a way to capture value, right?
Right.
Either let's say an investment opportunity or a product or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. So one of the things that I also teach people is like networking is a very valuable skill, right? Like I've seen people go into rooms and it was like, I got nothing from that. And I'm like, cool, I saw you just like talking to 2 people you already knew, that didn't do anything, right? Like if you're gonna walk into a room where everybody's net worth is above 500 million, do you know what they talk about? Because it's not like I ate a home slice today.
What do people worth $500 million talk about? They complain about taxes.
Right. You know, but it's also the case, like they don't think in terms of like one city anymore, right? They think in terms of just like, you know, I'm in Germany, you know, yeah, exactly.
I know, yeah.
So it's a very global mindset where they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna be going to Germany, I'm gonna be working with some friends over there, and then after that Brazil, I'm gonna be doing some stuff over there. Everything is very global speak, right? The world is a playground. Who here has read Plutocrats, the book? Came out like maybe 5-6 years ago. basically, the picture of the book is like, everybody has a private jet in their driveway, right? And their role, it consists of like, you know, I'm gonna go have lunch in New York with a friend, and then I'm gonna go meet up in Chicago for dinner, and then tomorrow I'm gonna have breakfast in LA, and then after that I'm gonna go out to Japan to go hang out with some friends. That's their role, right? Most people are just like, I might go to the north side this weekend in Austin. Yeah, it's a little far, but yeah.
Is it the
Plutocrats.
Pluto?
Plutocrat, I'll bring it.
This is like the rich of the rich. Like,
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
So this book, you would consider this book kind of old now, but the stuff that it had then was very insightful when I read it, you know. And so now we have books that are way different from that. Like now I read books on like offshore financing and wealth management and things like that, because that's where everything is, right? Like when you talk to these kinds of people, they're not talking about like, yes, I have a bank account here, I have a bank account in Panama and in the Caribbean and in Switzerland and in Germany, and you know, it's all over, right? And they're very aware of like why that is, you know. So books like this give you an insight to that. And then if you want to go further, there's another one, it's the hidden.
So wealthy people talk about their wealth.
No, they flex.
And
Yeah,
so
they
wait,
flex.
so how do
How do you get to
unwealthy people
How do you get to play
speak
this
with
playground?
wealthy people? Like
Right.
how do you, what's your angle, or what's, yeah.
So where do the deals get made? I mean, he knows where, but I'm curious to see where.
In Dubai.
In Dubai, but where in Dubai? Because there's very specific places in Dubai where that happens. Like this is
Around the wealthy
At the
people.
marina.
Yeah.
That's okay, yes, but where else? Like this is the stuff that, if you really want to play in this world, you have to know where this stuff
At
happens.
events.
At events, but what kind of events? It's
Or
not just,
clarity.
F1 event.
okay, yeah, okay, what else? Right, so what happens out in the waters? All the yachts are out. Yacht parties. The yacht parties is where you're trying to get to, right? Like that's the stuff that's invite only, right? You know, because then you hang out with everybody there has money, right? You're gonna meet people who like, they're gonna throw money around like it's just nothing, right? You know?
Yeah, but how do you open the like, how do you open a pitch to them? How do you pitch them?
You bring a laptop at the app.
I see you're enjoying your cocktail over here. You know, I have an app. It's amazing. Like great graphics.
Right. So I don't think they're open to pitches. Yeah.
You have to talk about something unrelated that gets their interest, and then you have to like ease into it.
Right. Because the idea is like you're not trying to be a salesman. Right? Like,
Yeah.
if you come off as a salesy person, like,
Exactly, I
you
know.
get that.
Yeah.
I know.
Because
I know.
you're wasting their time.
Like,
Because
fuck
there's no
off.
incentive for that.
Like,
Yeah.
Throw him off the boat.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
How do you know it's really not?
Your laptop's gonna
I'm like a browser company.
I know. I have a lot. I have a lot over there. So when I was putting all this together, I built it out. It's like, man. But yes. So then that's the part where you build your network, right? Like that's the whole idea. Is like that's why you're traveling. That's why you're trying to do all this stuff. So if you're not building out your social media content and you're not paying attention to all those kinds of things, then you're trying to do everything the hard way, right? How many times have you seen people's social media accounts where you're just like, you do this and you make this much money and you get frustrated because they make that much money doing something that you think is so simple, then why aren't you doing it? You know, right? Like there's a girl who she was a elementary school teacher and she got into automation, and her channel on TikTok was like, Angela automates everything. And all of a sudden, people started paying attention to this, and they're just like, I can create templates to automate this, and this, and this, and this, right? And you go to her website, and it looks like a kid built her website, but yet she's making 6 figures, right? So, who's winning the game here, right? So, if you're trying to get into these different communities, and you build that network, that goes a long way, right? Like, how many times have you seen 17-year-olds on YouTube have 5 million followers, and you're trying to find a job? No, it's the truth. It's the truth, right? Like that's the world we live in today. It's just like I meet people who have graduate degrees and they get laid off from their jobs, right? And yet that 19-year-old has a TikTok account, he's doing this, he has brand deals, all that stuff. Is he looking for a graduate degree? Hell no. There's no value in that, right?
I have a question
Yeah.
about that. Does social media, like, praise youth as well?
In what way? What do you mean?
Like, I feel like a lot of youth, like, it's cute and it's, people buy into that, like 19-year-old or younger, so is it harder for someone that's like growing up?
No, it's not, because how many older grandparents have you seen on TikTok? Where
But
they
you
just-
brought grandparents, I mean like
So-
middle age.
Right. So the mom who's the automation thing, right? Like she's not a developer, she's not a software person, but she learned Make, she learned Zapier, she learned all these programs, and she just sits down and shows you on TikTok, like, hey, I automated this simple process. Who is her audience? Is it a 20-year-old? No. It's that other single mom who's at home raising her kids that wants to make some kind of money, right? That's their audience. So what's weird is, like, many people don't realize this, but older women is a huge market. And that right there, you can make so much money. In fact, there was a guy that made a YouTube channel about how he made these little books that are like 30, 40 pages, right? Using AI, about things that older women can do. Knitting, right? Yoga clubs, running clubs, cycling clubs. But he became a millionaire doing that. So
just to better understand, so like I feel like I'm older now. Like again, for like every one of the people who are successful doing this on TikTok, like
there's a million other films
yeah, but
behind
that's
it?
what I don't understand.
Yeah,
Because you know, like for example, running's super popular now, and I see like these bros running on Town Lake doing selfies all the time. They look really stupid to me, but like, you know, I
mean, they
noticed
get
it
the
a lot
paycheck,
more than I
so-
used to.
yeah,
But I don't
no.
know, are they?
Yeah.
Like, are they all making tons of money, or are they just like trying to find an excuse to not do a real job?
So, so who here does social media in the extent that you get clients? Okay, yes.
I mean, you get paid by the platforms.
Yes.
Meta, like I know someone who's been a bartender, and he quit his job 5 years ago, and now what he does is those stupid videos, you know, like he's dressed up like as a worker, and he posts videos, like multiple videos with funny videos with workers, you know, and he's explaining and somebody's doing something there, and and he's getting like, he's making like between 10 and 30K a month, money coming from Meta.
So where else do you get
Because
money?
they pay you,
Yeah.
they pay for
Right.
the content. Like,
You get money for like selling products.
Okay, what else? What else?
yeah, pay-per-view, yeah.
Okay, alright.
Product
Yeah.
reviews and
I feel like
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so if you cannot get ad revenue from YouTube or Meta yet, what do? What is your other option? Like, do you need a lot of followers to make 6 figures?
UGC.
Okay, good. Who knows what that is? Okay, good. Yeah, UGC.
What is that?
User generated content. So like if I pay you to be like, hey, I want you to promote my product, more people are gonna watch you use it versus if I hired a professional firm to do it, right? That's user generated content, right? That's way more valuable and that's a bigger market, right? So if you're not getting money from your ads, then you're either gonna sell a course or you're gonna sell a community. What is the biggest community maker out there right now?
Circle.
What else?
Mighty Networks.
What else? There's a bigger one.
Discord?
Okay, sort of, but you're gonna connect that to something else. Discord is like your main hub for stuff, but there's something else that people are now using everywhere. Building community.
Limo?
No. School.
MySpace.
School.
Oh, yes,
yes, MySpace. Oh my
Is it called school?
School. S-K-O-O-L. Okay, how many times have y'all heard about school? Okay?
Never heard of it.
Oh my god.
I use Circle.
Oh my god. If I brought in some 20-year-olds, they would be like, who, how? Yeah.
I'm old now, I don't know this shit.
So school is a very powerful system now, to where like there's a lot of them that are free, and there's a lot of them that are paid. In fact, I met this guy at the Small Business Expo last Thursday here in Austin, right? Because everybody was there, right? Okay. And he was like 19 years old. I said, how many school communities are you part of? He's like 5. I'm like, great. how much are you paying? What's your highest paying one right now? He's like, $120 a month. I'm like, what? You're paying $120 to be a part of a school community for what? He's like, dropshipping. I'm like, oh my God. If you understand, you know why I'm laughing, okay? Because dropshipping is something every 13 to 19-year-old falls into, right? That's the trend. He knows it. Okay? Because every boy will see that video, it's like, I made so much on dropshipping, and you can do this too, right? And they're throwing money like that, right? And so I said, what other communities are you paying for? He's like, well, there's another one that's $50 a month. I'm like, so what do you learn in these communities? He's like, it's all about like sharing resources and doing these things, right? So again, these people who run these school communities, it's not a startup, right? It's just a community, but it's passive income to those people, right? They get on, they do their live streams, they go through the coaching sessions, all that stuff. Who here can run your own school community right now? Based on see, yeah. Exactly. You know, so don't think you need add money to make it, right? Like there's a guy that I saw after the pandemic. He was a stay-at-home dad who lost his job, and he's like, I'm gonna get on YouTube. I have no followers, and I'm gonna teach people all the home jobs you can do, right? And he would just keep posting and posting videos. Like he had no idea how to edit. Videos were kind of, bad. Near the end, he had like 50,000 subscribers. How much was he making a month?
$1 million.
No.
I mean, what's a million? What's a million dollars? No, seriously, what's a million nowadays?
Go to a golf party, you'll get it for everybody. So he was averaging 20K a month. Okay? 20K a month. Who would be happy with that right now? Exactly. Exactly, right? Like he's not trying to be a big social media influencer. He just wants to help those people who are at home struggling. Here are some jobs you can do from home and make some money. And that's it. Right? Like he's not trying to be Mr. Beast. He just wants a follow. And that's it.
People how to find jobs and he didn't have a job?
Well, he lost his job, but he had sat home. He's just like, I'm just going to research and throw it out there. There was a teenager. He was 14 when he started, and this is what he did. He would go and watch all these finance videos, right? And then he would just copy the content and say like, hey, look, this is what I've learned. Remember, I'm a kid. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm going to show you how to increase your credit score. Okay?
Why don't you do this on school? What you're teaching right now?
Yeah,
Because
so
there's a lot of nomads.
Right. That's why there's cameras. So I figured all so this kid started to build a following. Why? He's just a kid. Why did he build a following all of a sudden? Like he got to, I think it was like almost 1 million followers. Okay?
It's so unusual that a 14-year-old would be talking about this topic with like some degree of expertise.
Right.
But he demystified it and
Yes.
he probably talked in a very clear language.
So if you're 42 years old and you're struggling with credit card debt, and you're watching a 14-year-old talk about credit scores, okay? Okay, like there's all kinds of things here, right? Like you have to break this down here. There's a reason why this is important. It's because you're watching this kid all of a sudden like he's talking about finance, and you're like, why didn't I learn this when I was his age? Like why wasn't I paying attention to this when I was his age? Like
Same
what was
reason
I
you're 42 years old and going on looking at YouTube.
So yes. So right. But now it's the case of just like he built his following. So he can pivot anytime he wants, right? So he has his million followers. Now he can go into fashion, he can go into e-commerce, he can do whatever he wants. He built his followers, right? So did he do his job?
Yep.
Exactly. So now guess what? No matter what he does, no matter what he posts, he will make a paycheck.
Wow.
See? So again, he was just a kid in his room, had a camera, recorded stuff, found another video, copied it, and just talked about it. Like, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Here's what I learned. This is what I'm going to do. I know I should invest in this. I should invest in this. If you don't have it already, this is how you start, right? And then in his description box, he did all this stuff. That was 6, 7 years ago. Now, guess what 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds are doing? Because now this is going to make you really mad.
Watching him.
Crypto.
I feel like I'm the only one that watches YouTube.
Meme coins.
No, they watch his content, like program.
Okay, yes, that, but what else? What just came into our lives like 2 years ago?
TikTok?
ChatGPT, thank
Do you
you, AI.
create more?
Right, like now you have kids who are on there and they're showing you how to build like chatbots like this, right? Like, you know, Minecraft just released their AI companion tool, right? So now you have kids who are live streaming their entire AI companion builds, and people are watching this stuff, right? Like they're going to Twitch, they're doing all these things, 14 years old, 16 years old, and you're watching him and an AI companion build this entire ship, right? And they're talking to each other, they're doing all these things, right? So now you can have another AI companion that goes and is like, hey, I want you to go build this, do this, let me know when you're done, right? And they're talking to each other, they're having fun. What's happening here? Right, they're building their network. They're building their followers, they're building subscribers. That's all you're focused on is build those subscribers, right? Because if you can get to 1 million, you're done. That's it, right? So then you have the other kids who are going on here, they're learning make.com, they're learning Zapier, and they're saying like, hey, I'm gonna show you how to build an AI voice assistant, right? And you're watching this 16-year-old build out this entire workflow in Make. The video's crappy, it's rudimentary, but guess what? They got clients. Why? Because somebody around the world is watching that video. It's like, hey, I do this little shop, I'm over here in Zanzibar, can you build that for me? Right? 16 years old. Right? You're not working at Starbucks, you're not working at McDonald's, but you're teaching how to use AI. Right? So there's other kids that are going on, there's like, I will show you how to use AI to build digital products. So that's why, like, for these right here, how to use AI, I'm just going to go through this real quick. Yeah. All right, there it is. So the first one right here is AI-powered virtual assistants. If you want to look these up, you can check these right here. If you want to take a picture, you know. I mention all this stuff is because these kids have the time on their hands. If you have time on your hands as well to make content, do it. Like, get that TikTok, do all those things. Like, if you have a story to tell, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram. You have no idea who's going to follow you, right? So I also put the pricing on here because I want you to start realizing, like, as you're looking at all these tools that I'm going to be showing you, the price starts adding up. So if you want to start using AI in your life at a level that you should be, it's going to get costly, right? So these are the lowest tiers for these products, by the way. So the first one basically just helps you monitor your basically what you do on your laptop. I watched YouTube for 3 hours. I did this for 3 hours. I did that, and it goes back at the end of the day, it gives you a report how you spend your time. Like, okay, cool. I need to improve this. I need to do this stuff, right? And yeah, cool. But the other one right there, advanced project management, the AI. So you can go in, it will actually watch everything you're doing. It's like, hey, this is what's going on. I need to improve this workflow. And it will show you improvements on everything you do. So because it sees that you use Slack, it sees that you use Asana, it sees that you use all these different programs, it's going to connect to everything, and it's going to show you how to improve all that, right? That helps you while you're traveling. That helps you with your work, with your online businesses, everything, you know? Like, go ahead.
Is it looking at like the content of what you're writing? Or is it just like, oh, you have Google Drive open, or you have
Which one? Are you talking about ClickUp?
Either of these. Like,
So
what
for
specifically, like, what is it doing?
For ClickUp, what it's doing is it's trying to understand, like, what tasks do you do a lot? Like, do you respond mostly to emails all day long? If so, I can go in there and do automated responses for you if that's the case, right? For the first one, it's trying to show you, like, hey, you're spending a lot of time doing this. Is that how you really want to spend your day, right? Like, am I just spending all my day doing follow-ups, you know? Or do I need to push that off to an actual assistant, virtual assistant, you know?
Have you used both of these?
I have, yes. And I've done a lot of like the trial run versions, and I've had my experience with it. ClickUp, I've used quite a bit. I will tell you, it is pretty impressive. So if you've already started searching on your phone what it looks like, it's a pretty interesting platform. In my opinion, I still use a lot of make.com because I'll build out my workflows. But ClickUp goes a little step further because it analyzes a lot of what's going on in your laptop, what programs you're using, all that stuff, how to improve basically your workflows. So content creation. Who here knows Jasper? Jasper has been around for a long time, right? In fact, Jasper led that whole market of copycats. So now if you look for anything content creation for AI, you're going to see 40 other copycats, right? Jasper and Copy AI were sort of the leaders in that space. And since then, they've only gotten bigger, right? Then you have SEO Wind. There's also SEMrush that is also really good. So if you know about those. Again, I mention this stuff because you as a digital nomad need to automate a lot of what you do. Burnout is because you keep doing everything. If you can push it off, now you can spend more time traveling, getting clients, and spending where? Where should you be spending your time?
Networking.
Right, networking, going to parties, doing all that stuff, trying to get to the yacht. Trying to get to the yacht. Yeah. See? Right. So, I go to a lot of events, right? Like most people would look at my life and be like, how on earth do you do it? Like this whole week I have nothing but events going on, right? Like tomorrow I have, who goes to Fiesta? Okay, good, yes, I will see you there tomorrow at Fiesta. Who knows about the tech showcase on Wednesday from South Korea? Wow. Wow.
That's pretty far.
That's great, yes, you're gonna do it, yeah.
Can you get me an invite?
Where is it?
It's actually on the Slack for Capital Factory. Are y'all Capital Factory members?
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
yet.
Okay, not yet. I can show you, I can get you the information.
But this is Capital Factory happening.
Yeah, so from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for this Wednesday. In fact, they're actually pushing a lot. They're like, I don't know if they're meeting their numbers yet because you have a lot of companies coming in from South Korea to do a showcase. And
They're
we're
working
gonna
on
market
to
this.
South Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a good lineup of companies, so I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen. And then, Thursday I have a Meta event, and then I have an AI event that I'm putting on Thursday night, and then Friday I have another Meta event for a hackathon for AI.
So it's 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
And this email from Joshua with.
Yeah, it should be, well, actually, yeah, it should be, it's not, I don't think it's in the newsletter.
It's not in the news.
Yeah, it's not in the newsletter, it's in the, Slack for Capital Factory.
You should do a session on like networking events, like how you isolate the ones, like what sort of agenda do you go in, like who do you, like how do you research who's gonna be there, like. That would be a cool event. That would be a cool session. Because a lot of networking events are just like people.
So do you see in December?
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I did that one last year for networking and people loved that one. But yeah, so like for this right here, if you can use AI to go in and analyze your website and be like, hey, where am I lacking in my SEO? What am I not doing correctly? It's there, right? Like there's so many free AI tools to do that for you. Go in, use it, analyze it, use its advice, you know? And guess what? You can always go try something else. If you want to pay for 1 month and see if it's better, do it. If it gets you more subscribers, use it, you know? So next one, visual content. So we should all know the first one, because that one's connected to OpenAI. But the other one is a lot of vector stuff. So if you are an illustrator, if you are a designer, things like that, you're going to be using a lot of the second one.
But you can use images generated by DALL-E only for non-commercial stuff.
Right, yeah. And that's why like there's other sites now that allow you, like Illustrator actually gives you the images that you can use for commercial, right? So you can go in there and then if you want to sell it, things like that, absolutely.
When you
Yes, I mean, no, so it does not make the books, it makes the images.
I mean, I'm with the
Illustration?
interior design, the interior format, like the.
It can, yeah. But it won't write it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. If you want like enough, like nice borders and things like that, yeah. So, what were you gonna say?
No, I see the answer. So you can use it like for thumbnails for your YouTube.
Right, and if you notice like in the past year and a half, how many thumbnails have y'all clicked on already that you know was AI generated, right? Like that's the whole point now is like, most of the stuff we're gonna be going into in the next 3 to 5 years is all AI content that's generated, so. Yes.
Do you feel like it's like a negative signal though? Cause I know for me, like if I'm gonna say read a blog post, right, and I see like AI art as your like clip art, I'm immediately thinking like, oh, low effort slop, I'm not even bother reading. If I'm on YouTube and it's like obviously like first pass, like you just click generate and like you sent it in just like 6 fingers, I'm gonna be like, alright, you're not like taking this seriously and I'm just like out of there.
Yeah.
You know, eventually maybe it'll be like good enough where it's like, you know, you can't tell or it was like sufficiently curated, but do you think a lot of people see it as a negative signal?
I don't, because I always have to keep reminding myself that because I've gotten to so good at AI now that there are people that don't use AI in the way that I use AI, right? Like I went to an AI hackathon this past weekend and I was helping computer science majors use AI, right? that should not be the case, right? Like, they're younger than me, they should be on top of this stuff, right? But they were so clingy to ChatGPT that I was like, no, you have to learn how to talk to AI. And they're like, I did, I told it I needed this and it gave me crap. I was like, that's not talking to AI, right? So you have to remember there's still a whole a whole population of people that are just not up to date on this stuff. So when they see this stuff, it looks cool, it looks amazing, and they click on it. You are the audience that they're probably not trying to get, right? If the name of the game is cash grab, they did it, right?
But then like that's a very like short run strategy because yeah, like
That's right.
Like you wouldn't run with a premium brand. Sorry.
Somebody say that part to me?
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No. It's just like it's a pretty short run strategy. Like you get some like cheap AI generated content where like it looks like AI, and then like actually let's say people that are valuable, like that add value, the audience that is valuable, like you losing on them.
Yeah.
Like
So how many TikTok accounts have you seen that have come and gone real fast? Right, like they post like maybe 3, 4, 5 videos, but they all get like either six figure like hits or 1 million hits, right? Yeah. What were they doing? They're testing. They're testing their market and they're looking to see what they can sell real quick, right? Because the whole point of drop shipping is to get your numbers up real fast, to get that viral video going, and you're gonna sell a product real quick, right? And if you can get to 6 figures, 7 figures within a short period of time, did you win the game? Yeah.
kind of.
Right. So that's how some people are looking at AI right now. But if you're trying to play the long game and you want to create your thumbnails, I guess the old school way, everything now is all about your thumbnail on YouTube. Everything is based on the algorithm. So now the algorithm is geared towards your thumbnail design. If it doesn't look flashy, if it doesn't look like it's clickbait enough, YouTube will push it down, unfortunately, you know? And they're just playing the game, you know? Does that sort of answer more of your, because I know it's not what you want to hear.
Yeah, I guess the question would be like, if you're trying to build something more premium, I would think you definitely want to avoid these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Right? If you're sort of like in the fast money game and it's like the goal, different story. But like, you know, honestly, I'm even surprised Apple went the whole Apple intelligence route. It's very bizarre to me. Like generated emojis is just strange.
Of course. There's a guy, he does a very simple YouTube channel. I've been watching him. He puts no effort into the video. He literally just turns his camera on, hits record, talks, and as soon as he's done talking, he turns it off. No editing, nothing, uploads it, done. His name is William Brown, and he lives in Dubai. And he talks about how he went from a piece of paper for his idea for a business to now he sold his company for like $20 million, right? And he shows you the entire process. He's not trying to be big, he's not trying to do anything. In fact, all his thumbnails are just literally him there. Like whatever thumbnail the video grabbed, he just takes it, uploads it, puts it there. But yet he gets 6 figures in views. Why?
Quality content?
Quality content. Like he literally, if you watch his video, he will show you how to go from 0 to $10,000 in a month. No problem. Like you live in Dubai, 10K a month is cake. It's literally cake. If you're not hitting 10K a month in Dubai, you should not be in Dubai. Very simple, right? Like hitting 10K in Dubai is just, it's what everybody does. You know, most people in Dubai hit 6 figures a month in Dubai, you know, $1 million a month.
So probably something alike would be a new luxury, and AI would be like McDonald's.
Yeah.
What did you say was new luxury?
Like when you're like a real person, he's doing like all this like thumbnails and all this stuff.
So if you want to go further, there's a site that's called smartcontent.co. And what it does is it actually has a formula to create viral TikTok videos, okay? I watched the hard way of making viral TikToks, right? Like you go through the process, you edit the videos, do all the stuff. One guy got super smart, he said, I will just turn that into a automation process. You go to my site, you type in your prompt, it will spit out the video right away. And I looked at that and I went, if we're now at the point where I can just type in a prompt and there's a system in the background that does everything for me, I don't need to do work anymore, right? I could just pay the $50 a month and spit out 100 viral videos, make my $1 million, cash out, go to Dubai, the beach, I'm just trying to get to the beach for some reason. Jesus, beach.
Yeah.
Who wants to be
So,
in that
so
party?
it's close, but it's also these images that just look so Pixar-like characters, right? Like it's their very fantasy fairy tale things. Like the biggest market right now for viral videos is supplements, vitamin supplements, things like that, right? They will post that this man was 80 years old suffering from this type of condition, and it shows some guy with just this eating thing on his side, and his supplement came in and he took it, and all of a sudden all his problems went away. And if you buy right now, and it has a link in the little image, you can click this, purchase like that, and yeah, that's what it is. And if you really know this stuff as a digital nomad, you know the biggest partnership that just happened 3 months ago. Can you tell me what they are for e-commerce? I mean, this was huge. This was like just earth-shattering huge. I mean, this affects everything we do every day.
I heard some.
What are the two biggest partnerships that just happened? Who buys from TikTok Shop? Everybody's laughing. How? My
Team
gosh.
really TikTok shop?
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. So basically,
It's like on a computer all day.
so in my, I think it was like, I run another event for the rise of one-person businesses, and I had put on the partnerships that just happened, which was Amazon and Shopify just had a partnership, right? So now when you build a Shopify store, it will, I'm sorry, so Shopify and YouTube, I got that wrong, Shopify and YouTube. So now when you buy on YouTube, you know how you have that like store option now?
Yeah.
That connects to a Shopify store, right? And vice versa, okay? So the other one that just happened was Amazon and TikTok. So now when you go to TikTok Shop, you don't actually go to Amazon anymore, you can buy directly in the shop and it pulls from the Amazon store, right? And it has the same logistics.
Yeah, but it's like, when you use that, you're killing your, like when you are like content creator for your TikTok shop, what you're doing, you're basically killing your credibility and your personal brand. So like, I know like it's like very much like a gamble game, and like if you already have like established audience, they're quite valuable for you. You don't want to like sell them crap basically, and then like also like to win that game, you need a lot of views and conversions, which is it's a bit of a gamble.
Right.
So even though I'm an influencer manager, by the way, so I have a lot of clients and like no Temu, no TikTok shops, no Amazon, no or almost no commissions.
Yep.
Just because like I care about personal brand of my clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like you can do that, but it's still not a long
Right.
short game.
So now remember, this is not, I'm not saying that as soon as you get a TikTok shop, it connects to Amazon. You have the option now to make it easy, right? But why did that happen? Like, what was the reason behind that?
I don't know how to be a big player.
Exactly. And they know that TikTok is where all the eyeballs are, right? So they want to be in that game, and they want to make it to where, like, if you want to connect your shop, we will make it one click connected, right? So now if you have your stuff here, now their answer is, now you have the millions of shoppers here and the millions of eyeballs here connected, right? That's their reason. See? So again, you don't have to go that route, but they give you the option there. Whereas like Shopify, now you can connect it to your YouTube channels, and you can have multiple YouTube channels connected to multiple Shopify stores, right? It's all about mergers and acquisitions, right? Like you're trying to create all these big conglomerate systems to create more of an impact, right? In their world, they're trying to make it easier for content creators, right? But it's not always the case, So financial management, I found these two right here when you're traveling. This one right here is pretty interesting. It will help like go through all your monthly expenditures. Now, to me, I feel like we've had chatbots for so long that we've had some apps that have kind of already been doing that. So playing with AI and then seeing if they work, it's sort of a, it's going to get better as we progress, but yes, there are a lot of tools out there. Wallet, which is another AI tool that's been around, supposedly does a better job, but yeah, I mean, for this kind of stuff, I would also just say like, hey, double check with AI on like credit card points, like rewards and hotel reward points and all that stuff. A lot of people go through and they're like, hey, I have these cards in my wallet. I want to go travel to these cities. How should I set up my itinerary, right? AI will go in and tell you the best points and systems and things like that to use, you know. That's a good way of using AI.
The only caveat is like when I worked at BlackRock, I actually worked on something that did similar to the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just make sure that like what's nudging you to do is actually in your best interest.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, cause like we would pay European like, you know, robo traders or whatever to like put money into BlackRock products. Like we would basically just pay them.
Yeah.
So just with someone like caveat with all the finance stuff.
I know, yeah. And that's the thing too, right? Like, who here started to notice when you use AI, ads are popping up, right? It was gonna happen, right? Like, I loved it when it first came out. It was so clean and simple, and there was no ads, there was nothing. It was like the internet, like 1998, right? And now we have ads influencing our, what should I search in ChatGPT, right? So. Networking, this one was a really good one right here, Contact Out. It will actually go out and help you find those emails, those contacts. It will go through a lot of those things and build out your network. If you're trying to figure out, like, hey, who out there do I really need to connect with and talk to? That's a great tool to have. But as you start to see with these pricings, if you were to get at least 5 of these, yeah, you're going to be paying a lot of money per month just to start using AI, right? I know. And it's just like that's on top of your Netflix and your Hulu and your McDonald's subscription and your Taco Bell and your, you know, other things that everybody wants you to pay for. And your
People
Uber.
already use this, like in finance, they pay for like Zoom and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are already paying a lot for these things.
So, I mean, can you imagine if every company wanted us to subscribe and we all clicked yes, how many bills we would have every day? I mean, every month. You know, we'd be paying $5,000 a month on just subscriptions, you know. So this one right here I thought was pretty interesting because these two right here are all about like concentration, meditation, and then website blockers and focus timers. Which again, you know, AI, I don't know really where it's going to improve. This is like, hey, you keep trying to get to Facebook, let's block it, you know, further, and let's keep doing this. Yeah, so I mean, like, unless you're really like insistent on paying for something like that, I would probably just use like lo-fi beats on YouTube. Exactly. We all know that girl who keeps studying every night, so.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, right? Like those music channels make a lot of money for those YouTubers, right? Like I've told so many people, like, hey, if you're a musician, go make a lo-fi music channel and just live stream like 4 or 5 of those things. You'll make money, you know? It's like when I told people, like, you know, mukbang, what's it, mukbang?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, watching people eat. Who here thought that would never be a thing?
Well, there is a video on YouTube that when men is like just boiling the water and it's like 1 million views.
Yeah. There's another one of a guy who, I remember this because I know how much he was making. He would put his camera in his backyard, right, and just hit record. And that was it, that was all he would do. He was so lazy that he would just take the video, upload it to YouTube. Whatever file's name was, that's what he had on there, right? Number 0, 2, 3, 4, you know, and he'd upload it. And he did the same video every day. And he would just, and people watched it. That's the problem. People watched it. Guess how much he made a month? This guy's a he made easily $3K a month on those videos. Just a simple $3K, you know, passive income for him.
Watch these. They're like diverse. You just go on YouTube and watch some videos all there. And like,
Do you remember Tosh Point Out? Do you remember what people watch?
I don't spend that much time on the internet.
Obviously.
I'm going to your session.
Go watch like crazy stuff on YouTube, right? Like you'll see things that people watch, and you're just like, why are people watching this, right? There was a guy who he wanted to create a YouTube channel to share his barbecue recipes with his son in college, right? He didn't know how to use YouTube, right? So he thought his videos were private, only for his son to see. He's like, why are there millions of views? Don't be sharing this with your friends. He's like, Dad, your videos are public. Guess what happened? He got a book deal, okay? He got to go compete at all these barbecue festivals and won a couple of them. And he started making 6 figures off of his videos because people were actually making the recipes, right? And his son was just like, Dad, I don't know why you did that, but I'm glad you did. You know? You'd be surprised what people want, right? And that's the beauty of YouTube and TikTok, right? Because you go on there and all of a sudden you see things that people are watching that you just don't think you would ever watch, and you're like, why am I watching this? This is so entertaining.
But is it still the case? Because I was trying to upload my videos and they were like with a good like all this stuff like camera settings and it was like 10 views, like 7 views, like.
Yeah, and you know that's what's gonna happen in the beginning because it doesn't know who you are. It doesn't know your schedule, it doesn't know your consistency, it doesn't know your audience, it doesn't know anything yet. So the frustration people have with YouTube is they upload, they try for a year, right? And they're like, man, I have no views, I only got 1,000 followers. You wanna go in for the thing?
Is this a Nomad?
Yes, yeah, come on. We're talking about how to get rich on YouTube. So what ends up happening is they get frustrated, so they stop posting, right? But the one thing every YouTuber will tell you at VidCon is keep posting. Keep posting. Because your consistency is what the algorithm is looking for. And it's eventually going to find the audience. So who can tell me right now the most powerful social media platform out there that will bring you followers?
TikTok.
YouTube.
Or
OnlyFans.
This is a very different audience. So, Snapchat actually will bring the people to you now.
oh, it's not working now.
So,
It was like a year or two ago, but now it's like fun.
so how many do you post on Snapchat a day?
2 a day.
Okay, so the average.
Snaps, 2 snaps a day.
Okay, that's probably why. So snaps.
How it's called.
They expect you to post between 40 and 50 times a day. Okay. When you hit those numbers, the algorithm pays attention because you're providing content to the platform. So it's going to bring you the views. It's going to bring you the audience.
I had like vice versa. I had like a lot of views at the start.
Yeah.
And the more I was posting, the less views I get.
Yeah.
So I came from like
How-
1,000, like 2,000, like
How long-
120,000, 120K I even had. And I get to like 50.
Yeah. How long did you do this? 2 years? 3 years?
Half a year.
Half a year. Okay. That's not enough. You have
That's
to,
what she said.
Yeah. So the problem with social media is that like it expects you to do the long haul, right? Like if you come in expecting to be like Mr. Beast and like now I have millions of views and I post 3 videos, it's not gonna happen, right? Like unless you have some major PR firm behind you from New York City and London, good luck, right? Like, but the thing is, Snapchat now has such a powerful algorithm that if you give it the content that it's looking for, it will bring the views. And I've seen people go from under a year posting every day, 30, 40 times a day, to landing brand deals, making money, to doing collaborations, to book deals, right?
Maybe you can address like.
Are you here for digital? Yeah, come on in. Did you have trouble finding it?
Yeah, I was downstairs and it took me a while to.
Oh, that's the same for me. I was listening to all this like
Psychedelics thing?
Yeah.
Bold stuff, and I was like, is
Yeah, have a seat.
it digital nomad?
Quite a slice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go
So
ahead.
you can possibly have some kind of, well, you're traveling, yes, so you're seeing a lot of nice places.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was doing. I was like traveling around, I was making some videos about my travels and I was
Okay.
posting them.
Yep.
Additionally, I have like my business or practice, so I'm like a management consultant.
Okay.
So I was thinking about like what should I do for my Snapchat, YouTube or whatever.
Sure.
So should I make some kind of expert videos or should I just shoot travel videos?
Okay.
Because it is very difficult,
Yep.
very different. You can.
That's right.
So I was like just doing the low hanging fruit. I was just sending like these travel videos.
Okay, yeah.
And I was thinking about, okay, so I'm building up following or whatever. Would I be able then to switch this following to my expert video?
You can if you have the numbers.
Because it sounds like very different audience.
Now remember, you can also have multiple channels. Like that's the thing, right? Like there's a lot of people who have multiple channels for different purposes. That's why like YouTube allows you to go and add more accounts. So if you have a YouTube channel for food, if you have one for travel, if you have one for management, if you have one for finance, you can do that, right? It wants that.
And you have no time for beach.
So that's what your system is for. So the thing is like the other side of YouTube is the faceless videos. Who here knows about faceless videos, right? Like that's a big market right now, right? Like how many times have you seen a 23-year-old run 6 YouTube channels that are faceless and they're bringing in $10 million a year, right? Like, how are they doing that? Like, he's laughing at me. I finally said the number he was looking for.
That's what he's trying.
But how is he doing that, right? Like, I watch the videos that nobody else wants to watch because they're 3 hours long, right? But he sits down and he shows you the entire process, like, hey, this is what I did. And he shows you, like, I have a team of editors. There are like 6 editors for this one video. Then I have another team that does the social media for it. And then I have another team that does the marketing for it. Like, you see, there's a lot of effort to these videos now. So if you know that he's going to be making millions of dollars on that, that means you need to up your game. It's either you need to post more content or you need to provide more value, right? And if it's the value part that you're lacking, then go watch other people's management videos and say, like, why are they getting millions of views, but I'm not? Is it I'm not posting at the right time, or do I not have the right hashtags? What is the deal, right? Because it's literally just tweaking that algorithm. Or is it just a thumbnail, right? Because 99% of the time, it's your thumbnail that gets people to click. There was a guy, he was a physics major in graduate school, and he was going to do this amazing research, and his professors and everything were giving him grants for his labs and all this stuff. And one day he came to his professor and said, I want to be a YouTuber. And his professor looked at him like, what are you talking about? Like, you're in graduate school at Stanford and you're doing all this amazing research. He's like, yeah, I think I want to make videos about pranks, you know? And his professor's like, don't do that. You're going to lose everything you worked hard for. So I already dropped out, and I have some friends, we're going to go make some videos. So, guess what happened? He cracked the algorithm. And what was the algorithm? Thumbnails. But what was it about the thumbnails that he figured out? Because he took his knowledge of physics and his graduate studies and he applied that to thumbnails. And if you watch his videos and you look at it, every thumbnail has a very specific style of neon lights, very colorful stuff, and an action in motion that makes you look at that and say, I have to know what happens next. And you click on it. And he said he ran like 10 test videos doing the same thing, and he designed those thumbnails very specific, right? And all of a sudden he was hitting millions of views. And then as soon as he hit millions of views, he hired a team right away to go in and say, every time we shoot a video, we're going to sit down and figure out what does it need to look like. Right? The big YouTubers on here have 20 people working for them. That's why they have millions of views. Yeah. Does that help answer some of that, or?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
As far as I see, I need different channels.
Yeah.
And I can probably, so I'm trying to like summarize, and I can probably use the leisure channel, like the travel videos, to make tests.
Right.
Thumbnails and all this stuff.
Absolutely. I mean,
and apply this to my expert.
Absolutely, and the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. Always know that your first 50 videos you make on YouTube are going to be crap anyway, right? They're just going to suck. Like you have to get into a routine and a habit before you really start to define your style. Like how many times have you watched YouTubers' videos in the very beginning and you're just like, I was doing skateboarding videos and I was doing prank videos and I was doing food videos and I was doing this, until they started to find their market, right? And that's when their numbers started to go up. So who here knows, is it Albi Ever something? He's a medical student in London.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Remember in his videos in the beginning how he talks about like his failure? Yeah. Like he was playing the guitar and making music and doing all this stuff. And
he was doing it in the back room of his medical care. Yeah.
Exactly. And it wasn't working until he finally started to find out students were asking him, hey, how do you study for medical school? Can you make a video about that? Hey, how do you do YouTube and then study to be a doctor? Like, can you show a video about that? And all of a sudden, like, his video numbers started to go up and up and up. Why? Because other medical students around the world wanted to know. What are you gonna say?
Because he found some that people needed.
Yes. So what's a big market right now that's big on YouTube? I know that's a general thing. It's college students in study, right? Motivation, like study habits, things like that. Like a lot of people don't realize like
motivational studies, yeah.
Yeah, that. But it's also like, hey, I'm a physics major. How do I study for this, and this, right? And you post videos that are very specific to physics students, and all of a sudden you have an audience, right? And your thumbnail is, oh, I got the wrong answer here, and it's a big circle that's red, and it has an X on it, right? I'm gonna click on it. Why did he choose that answer? Right? It's all about getting you to click, and that's it. That's why Mr. Beast mastered that whole thing. In fact, if you watch all his interviews about why he's Mr. Beast, he's like, it's just a thumbnail. It's literally just the thumbnail. If you master the thumbnail, you master the algorithm, you know?
I learned that he makes like 500 types of thumbnails until he nails the best one.
That's right. But how is he able to do that though?
Get all the free time.
He has a team.
Thank you. That was it. That was all I was looking for, was he has a team, and that's exactly what I teach in my digital nomad. If you do not have a team below you, you are going to struggle. I have 10 assistants to build a team. Yes.
With regards to, maybe it's a little bit too specific to YouTube, but do you know, like, can you natively A/B test different thumbnails, descriptions, whatever it is, natively on these platforms? Like, or it's really you just have to go video by video and kind of be like, well, I know these videos aren't directly comparable,
right?
But you know, this one seemed to have performed better, and so I think it's the thumbnail.
Yep.
You know,
I'm so glad you brought that up, because if you are not on YouTube Studio, get on YouTube Studio right away. There are so many AI tools that YouTube has now built into their backend that it has an actual A/B testing, function. So you can go in there and you can upload different things and A/B test it, right? Like, it's going to run for 50 clicks here and then 50 clicks here. Who had the better impressions, right? Go play in that YouTube Studio backend and see all the new AI features they have put into that studio. It is phenomenal what they're doing. And that's why so many of these YouTubers now, their clicks are going up real fast, right? They're constantly checking things. Stephen Graham, y'all should all know that name. He will do at least 200 thumbnail checks before he's satisfied, right? And he is constantly checking. Why? Because he has a team to do that, okay? And so when he posts a video, it's like, man, it's not getting enough clicks within the first 30 minutes. Yes, that's how intricate these guys are. He will go back in, change the thumbnail. Like, I don't like it, let's do this, right? That's what they're doing. Why? Because that's their moneymaker. That's their image, that's their brand, you know? So, yeah, you need to have something going on like that, because again, how many times have we seen the whole like, oh, they're a so-and-so because they were on social media, right? And it makes you mad because you're just like, I went to graduate school and I got this stupid degree, and they got here and I make 70K a year, you know? So it's different, because sometimes you'll see things happen. I follow a lot of channels out in Japan that you probably think are like useless to watch, right? Like, but it's called My Life on the Other Side. And this one guy was talking about all the small towns in Japan that are just empty, right? And all the young kids are leaving to the bigger cities because they don't want to live in a small town. So what are these small towns doing? They're what?
Selling.
Paying people to live there?
Thank you. And I signed up, right? So why are they also doing that? Because they want the digital nomads. Yes. So guess what? These towns, if you go live there, they will give you a job as soon as you walk in. Here's your job. You want to have kids? Here's $10,000. You want a second one? Here's $30,000. You want another one? Here's $40,000, right? Bam. That is what they're doing.
If you're actually watching YouTube videos all day, it doesn't matter where you live.
If you run a YouTube channel and YouTube, I mean, you're making money, right? I got paid to be here, and that's it.
So there is an interesting question. Do you have a list of these towns, and do they have beaches?
Okay, so the digital nomad visa is actually one of the hardest in the world now to get for Japan. But if you move there and you apply for the program, they will take care of all your paperwork for you, right? And that's the amazing part about it, is like, you will go and basically you'll walk into a nice job, and guess what? Your medical, your dental, all that stuff, 100% paid for, right? But you live in a small town. But guess what? They have trains.
Fast trains
that get you to where you need to be. We're in Texas. You don't have trains.
Yeah.
Well,
you're a star. But we will never see a high-speed rail, right? But Japan, even in the smallest towns, their train system is very well developed, right? Like, all the kids ride the trains, all that stuff. Like, there's a whole world out there, and that's why I watch so many YouTube videos. languages, right? Like I look at all the stuff that's going on because so many people come to me and like, hey, I want to move here, what do they have, right? So if you want to go to Cape Town, I know all the digital nomad programs that are offering money to go to Cape Town, right? So, and a lot of that stuff now I started to put into a database and I sell, right? Like that's how I also make money. It's like, hey, you want this program? I will send you a list of all the programs out there that will pay you to go travel, right? Like to me, like spending money to travel just makes no sense, right? So language and communication, if you're trying to deal with these issues, here's some AI tools that help you with that, right? Like now we have like Google Translate, which is getting better with AI, but some of these other players out here are just as good, right? If you can have like fluid conversations with other people, and it's gonna get to a point in 5 years where you're gonna talk to somebody, you're probably gonna never know that language, but oh no, it's okay, that's why I have this one.
Are you preparing thumbnails?
He's ready.
I like how you said that because AI does that to me. So, it's one of those things where like, you can have a conversation with other people now and not have a language barrier problem, right? Like look how many Zoom programs add-ons that we have to where like, I can now teach globally and everybody will hear it in their language, but I'm still speaking English, right? So that should tell you, guess what, start teaching online, start doing your live streaming, incorporate these AI tools, build that global audience, because if you're talking about like, hey, here's how to do crypto, and you have 1,000 people watching you, all paying you $100 a month to do that, is that good money? Right? And how many people do we already know doing that, right? Like that's what Discord is for. Like how many times have you gone to a Discord community? Like, hey guys, don't forget Thursday night, 9 p.m. live stream, right? And you go in there like, oh, that's a premium channel, I gotta pay to be there to access that live stream. You know? So is this too much? Are we going too fast?
No, it's fine.
Do you
But
do
maybe-
content?
What?
Are you a content creator?
Yeah, so that's why I record the videos, I do all that stuff. So like a lot of my content that I do is a lot of the events that I go to, right? Like I go into a lot of exclusive events that most people have no idea exist, right? Last week I went to a ton of events that again, I'm like, how come you don't know about this? Like there's the Meta AI hackathon this weekend, right? I'm gonna be doing a video on that, you know? I'm gonna be doing a video at the South Korean tech showcase thing. I'm gonna like interview the companies, things like that. Again, people want to see that, right? Like if you cannot make those events, you still want to know who was in the room. You want to know who's, you know, doing that kind of stuff, right? I went to Austin Tech Week, did a whole thing on that, right?
Do you use YouTube to publish all these videos or multiple channels?
Multiple stuff, you know? So, but the idea though is like, I want to bring in people to the space because not everybody gets to do what I do, which is weird to say because like, most people have 9 to 5s, and I understand. You know, like I got away from the 9 to 5. Like I can never do a 9 to 5 ever again. You know, I go to parties, I go to events, I eat free food. I haven't been to the grocery store since January, so you know, it's pretty nice. You know, in fact, I have a friend that wants me to make a newsletter on how to find free food, right? Because like I eat free food every day, and it's crazy, right?
Is there any AI tool that can help you? Like, let's say you have this video from here, and you just publish it or does the proper cuts for it, editing for different platforms.
It's called TooShort.ai, and you upload the video, and it will cut it for you.
Too short?
TooShort.ai.
That's what she said.
Maybe there are AI tools.
You can see his show on Monday night at 10 o'clock. So
there are AI tools to explain how to use AI tools.
Maybe you can have an idea. So there is some niches which can harm your like main niches. Like for example, like I'm a management consultancy. Yes, so usually there's kind of stereotypes. People pay you how you look.
Sure.
So you should be looking like living like some glamour life and all this stuff. But when you're traveling, especially living a nomad life, especially when you're living a kind of like a van life, it is very interesting to post about this. But if you would do, it would hurt your like mainstream of income.
Okay.
How would you combine this?
So, I mean, personally, you can take a photo of yourself and upload it to AI and be like, how do I improve this for this audience, right? That is something that I would say you should consider doing because it might work, you know?
Just photos.
Upload a video?
Yeah, upload it, you can upload a video or upload a picture. And so like, hey, this is my image, I'm going to this audience, this type of event, things like that. What can I do to improve this, right? The more context you give to AI, the more it's gonna give you back, right? So it may be like, hey, you're going to this type of audience at this event, at this time, you know, try doing this, try wear this. Most people wear this, this, and this, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying like, I'm having like, for example, I'm not, but like, I'm having like two YouTube channels.
Yep.
One YouTube channel is about like traveling and eating free food, yeah?
Sure.
Which is totally nice, and a lot of people would like to watch this. It's really something exciting.
Okay.
And another channel about all this management stuff, you know, all this P&L, the balance sheets, and all this stuff. But if people from the second channel would see me on the first channel, they wouldn't be able to pay me as much as they're paying right now, because it is lowering my brand.
Why do you think that? I know exactly what he's saying, but why do you think that?
Oh, maybe it's my
I use self-confidence. Go to Westlake Dermatology, they'll fix your problems. We don't need anything.
So, do you know what the trend was 12 years ago on YouTube when you made one channel?
No.
The trend was you made a second channel to show the behind the scenes. Like they had like the vlog version, right? Like today I'm working on this channel to shoot a video for this, this, and this. Why?
People wanted to learn.
Yes. People wanted to understand, how did you come up with those ideas? How did you shoot the video? How did you do this stuff? Like they want to see the nitty-gritty stuff, right? Like when I watch YouTube stuff and I watch like Snapchat stories and TikTok stories and all these things, it is crazy what people are looking for in content creators. There was one person who basically said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but can you just film your entire day for us every day, please? And the creator was just like, that's a whole lot of videos. He's like, yeah, but I love watching your stories. What does that tell you? They want it. Right, that. So what else happens? This is the part that people forget why social media is so powerful. Hey, what is that hoodie you're wearing? Like, where did you buy that? Like, what shoes are you wearing? Like, you know, what is that style haircut? I can't tell you how many times I've seen people respond to content creators and say like, can you tell me the exact haircut style so I can tell my barber that? Right? But that is the power of social influence, right? So it's like, hey, the shoes you have, I want the same pair, right? So they're watching all this stuff as well to basically connect with their creators, you know? And to you, it seems weird because maybe this is all new to you in creating content, but whoever's watching you, they're gonna get something from it. And they see the behind the scenes of how you did your stuff. It's not gonna feel weird, it's just, you're a normal person, you know? You're just an everyday person.
I think, I'm not sure I even understand this question, but is it bad to be the face of every channel? If that makes sense.
You don't have to be if you don't want to. Like if you know like, hey, I'm a wealth manager and I have a very professional video, but over here I show all my stuff that I do with my family, and we go to theme parks and we do this and I eat food and go to buffets.
That's a very good example. So if you're a wealth manager, so you're expected to look like something and to have some kind of lifestyle.
Yep.
But you're living a nomad style of living, which is not like the first thing you will be thinking about, like wealth creation.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So wouldn't these two images of you compete with each other?
No, because you know what's going to happen is you're actually going to get more clients because now you relate to everybody else. Even though you manage millions of dollars of money, I know I can contact you because, hey, we eat at the same restaurant. Hey, we do the same thing as a family. That right there makes me, hey, I can reach out to you and be like, hey, I want to talk to you about money.
Makes sense. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, and then this one right here I thought was really, really interesting. So, this one is Canoid, and it uses machine learning. I went in and I started looking at what they were doing, and I was very interested to see like how they're using AI to help like do business intelligence stuff. So basically, like whatever your business is, it will go in and help you identify like what markets and areas and trends your business needs to be in around the world, right? And then of course there's exploring topics, which basically is just a website that just shows you like all the trending stuff that's out there. So
it's also a newsletter.
Yep. So how can you use that to your advantage? Exactly. And that's exactly why vidIQ exists, right? Like vidIQ, who knows vidIQ? There's only one hand. Jeez. So vidIQ basically tells you, hey, what are people searching on YouTube right now? What are they talking about? What conversation are they having? And then you can go in there and basically be like, I'm gonna create a video about that. And I'm gonna go in and shoot the video and we're gonna talk about this because that's what's trending right now. And I can't tell you how many content creators go in, they shoot the video, they do all that stuff, and that's why they're paying so much money for vidIQ. Yes?
What's the name?
vidIQ. vidIQ, basically you connect it to your YouTube channel and it will analyze everything. It will look at your keywords, it will do all that stuff. And you say, hey, I want to make a video about this. What is the trend right now for that? Should I make the video? Right? And now that vidIQ has added AI into its little basket of tools, yeah, it's even more powerful now. So if you want to go see how it works, I would definitely say check it out because it can change how you do videos. Okay. I thought you were raising your hand because you had a cookie. Yes.
I have another thing.
Sure.
You can find your niche on Reddit.
Yep.
You can take this link, send it to ChatGPT, and send, please summarize me all the questions you see in this Reddit page. He will make a summary of these ideas, and you say, okay, now transform them into video plots, video scenarios.
That's right, and a lot of people do that already. Like they will go into subreddits and they will go and be like, hey, create me an outline of a video I should make on everything people are talking about, and then give me the script of what to say, right? And now tell me how to shoot the video, right? And then you go back and you just follow the instructions, shoot your video. Okay, cool. How do I edit this video so people will watch it? Right? That's AI and how you're supposed to use it, right? So now all of a sudden you have your whole layout of how you run things, and this is why the people who run faceless videos have an entire system behind them, right? Like their team goes in and they know hey, if we do fast car videos, we're looking for all kinds of clips. We're gonna go in, we're gonna edit it in a certain style, we're gonna post it, and every day at 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock, that's when our videos go up, and that's it, So here's some more other options that are trends critical, and then talk blocker, which I thought was really interesting. It actually uses a heat map of all the different things of what people are talking about and what social media platforms it's coming from. So this gives you even more insight into what videos you should be posting, how you should be creating your content, things like that. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, if you don't have a team, I would recommend getting one. And again, remember, finance is a big market. Remember, that's why people love watching Stephen Graham, right? Because he became famous because he just talked about money all the time, right? And then you have the people who are all about fashion and then makeup and all these different industries. So whatever you're good at or you're not good at, make a video about it,
Well, those two are good because they are just problems people have that you're self-conscious about.
But remember, watching people eat is not addressing a problem. It's finding out that you're very hungry.
So if you're just starting, let's imagine, if you're just starting your YouTube challenge and you're good at 1,000 of things, and you are thinking about testing 10 niches or 15 niches, something like this, would you do it on one channel or different channels, and how many videos would you post to understand that this is adequate?
Okay. So let's say you only have one channel, all right, and you do that, and you want to create multiple topics, right? How would you do that on one channel?
Well,
everybody should know this, by the way. This is basic YouTube 101. Say that so everybody hears you.
Playlists.
Playlists. Create a playlist of topics, and finance as your playlist, education as your playlist, food as your playlist, travel as your playlist, and every time you make a video on travel, put it in your travel playlist. So when people go to your YouTube channel, they see all your topics that you talk about, and they know hey, I should go here because this is the latest video you posted in the finance section, And that's a good way to get started and build your audience, because then what can you do after that?
You can scale up.
You can scale up, find the one playlist that has the most views, go create a separate channel for that. Right? Now you bring the audience over there, now you have another source of income, right? So you can either do it the old-fashioned way, drop a course, write the book, but don't do that because that's what AI is for. So.
Well, I've done 4 already.
But yes. So does that help? Does that give you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So the big picture of all these tools is like, do I have anything here? Yes. Okay, cool. So if you know that you have a Shopify store, right? And you sell, let's say, Christmas trinkets, right? So what should be something else below here that you should pay attention to? Like, all you're just selling is Christmas stuff, right? What would you do?
Which other things to sell?
So AI tools, right? Like, how would you use this to create more products for you? Like, you're selling Christmas trinkets in the Shopify store, Christmas is coming up, what is your game plan?
With the trends people are searching for.
Okay, good. Exactly. So you're going to go to Trends Critical or Talk Walker, right? And you're going to see everything under Christmas that you can start finding, right? So if you know that it's like, let's say, socks, right? Let's say blankets. Jeez, this is so bad. Okay.
Mittens.
Mittens? Yeah.
Oh no, that's good.
All right. So then you go in there. What do you do next? What can you do? So these are all physical products. What do you do? You should know this. You go to AliExpress and drop ship the hell out of them, right? And that's it, you know? And then once Christmas is done, what do you do with the store?
Burn
Close it.
You close it down. That's it. You just close it down, right? And then you move on to the next one.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, Easter.
Is that what everybody's getting for this now? Just like, we're just running scams here all the time. It's like, now we're on Valentine's, and we're just gonna run a scam on Valentine's. And Spirit. We're gonna be a Spirit Halloween for Shopify, right? So, but that's the idea. Like, if you're trying to play the cash grab game, that would be the way to look at it. It's just like, look, I started a store, it's for Christmas. I'm going to sell X, Y, and Z. I go to AliExpress, find all my products, put them in the store, you know, find the trends, whatever people are talking about, throw that on a shirt, and then there, right? Do you think I'm the only one that came up with this? No. No. Absolutely not. No. This has been going on for a long time. In fact, every time some big news event happens, go to Walmart's store. I guarantee you, go to Walmart's store, look at third-party sellers, filter your sellers, right? Look at third-party sellers. Look at everything that you'll see within the next, like, I would probably say 24 hours. It's like they work so fast.
Wow.
They work super fast, right? Because they're not wasting a minute of getting your dollars.
Yep.
You know?
Like
And that's it.
sporting events, like political stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So if there's something that they can capitalize on, they will go in, they set their team on auto repeat, and they have like 30, 40 products in that store immediately.
Damn.
So,
It's the same founders.
Is that online?
What's that?
The online store of Walmart?
Yeah. So if you go online, Walmart, and you search third-party sellers, not Walmart itself, third-party sellers, look at how fast those things populate. Like, they move.
And they just contract with like factories in China off of like AliExpress.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Like, okay.
Like, or even like Printify, like, you know, print on demand, things like that, right?
Amazon Merch.
Exactly. You know, because it's such a quick money grab, right? Because you know, as soon as that thing is done, they're gonna move on to the next event.
I remember this was like half tour of this thing, and they printed all these like t-shirts, all these like souvenirs, even before she understood what something is going on.
Yeah.
So they were way quicker than she. So she was like drunk, as far as I remember, yeah. And until she like realized something, everything was exploding. Like there was like t-shirts, there was like souvenirs.
We'll take it back off of her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, does anybody know the story of what happened to her after that? I really want to hear this.
Oh, she made a podcast. She made a podcast. Yeah.
She's starting a dating app, actually.
Okay, what else?
She's running for president.
She went to Burning Man.
Caps.
Merch.
Oh,
She's selling merch.
Where was she, what was it, what day is it? Where was she 2 nights ago?
She was a bartender.
She's what?
She was a bartender.
What happened Saturday night? It was Saturday night, right? It was Saturday night.
The AEM festival?
No, the big fight.
Oh, UFC, of course.
Yeah. Mike
Oh,
Tyson.
the other one.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, she
That was
was
on
there.
Friday.
She was at the fight.
That was Friday.
Oh, that's Friday?
UFC,
Okay.
What's your fight?
UFC was
It was
Saturday.
Friday, right?
She Friday, yeah.
I didn't see her.
So-
That will be her last cash
So,
grab.
let me explain to you what happened to that, because like, this is the problem that I have, because I was a kid actor when I was growing up, and that world is a very crazy world. So as soon as that blew up for her, within 2 days, she had a major agency in LA signing her, right? They wanted to be her manager, right? Again, this is not somebody who's trying to be a social media influencer, right? It fell into her because she said something stupid. And so she got that, then she got the brand deals, now she got the t-shirts, and now she's being flown all over the world to all these different events. Why? Because her presence at things now drives what?
Views.
Followers.
Followers, views, numbers, money, brand deals.
Devil's advocate though, wasn't her father like some kind of like big shot at like something? I'm sure, you know, as soon as the opportunity presented, you get the right calls to the right people. I don't know what the story there was,
But still, she was working.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, the ability to capitalize on luck scales with network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, you know. But again, if you go the traditional route to get where she's at now, it will take you
Good
further.
luck. You need the network and the luck.
Right, exactly, you know. But that's why I show like this right here is the bigger picture is how do all these tools apply to everything you're doing? There's so many moving parts to it, right? And to get everything going in one simple system, you need a team once you get there. So who thinks a team is expensive? I'm curious, let's play a game real quick. For 10 hours a week, what would you pay a personal assistant? It should be super easy. What would you say? 20 an hour. Okay, what do we got? 20 an hour. Do I hear 30? Do I hear 30?
$6.
Depends on the quality.
An hour,
20
an hour.
to 6, an hour. Okay, who else? Do I hear 7? Do I hear 7?
3?
3? 3 an hour. We went lower.
Best bidding war ever.
Okay, alright, and do I hear 2? 2?
No, you
Pay you an hour?
You can do it for free if you have luck.
Luck?
Yeah.
Luck.
We're in Texas.
Oh my gosh. Alright, we are in Texas, yes. So the average is between 4 and 6 hours an hour, right? So that right there is like Starbucks, you know? You can afford a team, that's the reality of it. And that's why when he said 3, yes, he was pretty much on the dot. You know, my first personal assistant was $2 an hour. She was from Norway. Phenomenal person. She was a developer, WordPress developer, all this stuff. Used Shopify, e-commerce, Google Ads, everything, all that stuff. But why was she $2 an hour? Can y'all explain that to me? No. She was doing some
experience.
She wants to learn from you?
She wanted the experience, and so she lowered her rate to be competitive. Because she needed it on her resume, because her resume actually was just developer work, right?
Yeah.
So she was already making 20, 30, 40 an hour. She needed the personal assistant so she could get to the executive assistant role, right? So that's what she did, right? She was a phenomenal assistant. I loved working with her, you know. But yes, you can afford an assistant. So once you get your team going, then yes, you see why these YouTubers scale so fast. So with that said, this is my event on Thursday night. I will be having in Meetup. So if you want, that QR code should work. You can scan it. And if you want to come out, it'll be Thursday night at Waterton Wine in Buda. The reason why I'm doing it in Buda is because I'm trying to go to these small towns between San Antonio and Austin to grow that AI community, right? Like everything's always big cities for AI stuff. So if I can start bridging that community stuff, then yeah, that's who I want to meet. I want to meet the people out there who they're not using AI. They're not familiar with this stuff. So if you are a person who uses AI, come meet the business owners that want to learn, right? You know, so that's the mixer. So, any questions or?
I appreciate all your expertise in this area.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. So that's why I put this on. It's fun.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Yeah, yes. So my book recommendations, I have a few that I'm gonna pass around. And so with this, I have, who is here has read this, Flee the 9 to 5? No? It's a lot of fun. It gives you actually a worksheet to go through. And this is the one I told you about, the You Deserve Good Gelato. She's the one that couldn't afford to go to Italy, so she went to Italy, found her future husband, and then she became TikTok famous. So, And then, who here knows this guy? This guy is super famous, Matthew Kepps.
Yeah.
He was sort of the first famous digital nomad that wrote a book about how to survive on $50 a day around the world. And he just writes about his experience over 10 years as a nomad around the world. He's been to every country. This is what it's like. This is what the experience was like. And then this is one you'll like. This is the kindness diaries. He wanted to know, can he travel the world on just kindness? And he tells you his experience of like what it took. Sure, I don't buy books. I mean, like, I go to the library.
Why don't you have the Bible in your recommendation?
I don't have what?
The Bible.
The Bible? I do? That's amazing.
We're in Texas.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Alright, and then this one actually just came out, Marketing with AI. I've already been through this book right here. It actually has so many tools in here that I wasn't even aware of. There's more than Midjourney and Dolly, so please check that one out. And then if you really want to get into this, there's Digital Nomads. So she wrote this book. In fact, she just made a video on her YouTube channel about how she is slowing down right now, but she plans to go back out into full-time travel again. But it's packed full of resources. So.
Now when are you writing your book?
Tonight.
And then you're going to have your published?
I'll have it published tomorrow. How about that? So, no, I'll have a great idea of that. But yeah, I mean, please read some of those books if you've never heard of them. And if you do have more questions, then I have my little link right there if you do want to talk further. Usually other people have questions, how to get assistance, how to get started, but most people here are digital nomads already. So who here is going to be traveling to a really far country in the next couple weeks? Cool. Which one is
I
it?
go home, I travel to Poland.
Poland. He's going to Poland, everyone. So if you want to talk to him about Poland, that's the
Yeah,
guy.
I'm happy to. I live in the capital and I live in the second biggest city in Poland.
All right.
I'm happy to.
Yes.
Happy to give you
Yes.
some
That's
advice.
I love it. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Yes.
Poland is very
Put a QR code in
So, real quick, I asked for feedback on here because I want to improve.
Is it
Yes.
you?
What's that? Is
Is
that
it
me?
you? Yeah.
That's a Japanese lady.
Well, no, maybe you identify yourself.
That is a Japanese lady. So, I just think, yes.
I was just wondering about, are you going to Japan, or have you been there, or?
I've not been to Japan. I want to go because I applied for all those programs. So if I hear back from any of them, then yes. But I do know there's an interview process. So if I somehow get to go out there and visit, I do know that they provide housing stipend. So.
You have a home base here?
So I live in San Antonio right now because I run the program here. So like the thing about Capital Factory's terms for events is that you have a year contract, right? So I did the year contract right now just to put on events because nobody was paying attention to digital nomads in Austin. And digital nomads for Austin, this is the top 10 digital nomad destination in the world, right? So I mean, in the world.
Well, in the US, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
So actually, if you look at the heat map for nomads.com, Peter Levels actually follows like this whole thing, and like Austin's a major hub for like people coming through, right? Most of the people coming here, a lot of them come from South America. So I deal with a lot of people from Brazil.
They don't go to Miami?
No, they go to Miami. So they come through here, but they want to know like who's in the community, who's doing what, and where are they going, and can I connect them, right? And that's why I want the social events, you know. So
you have a home base here.
yeah, yeah. But I'm always in Austin. That's the thing. Like pretty much this whole week, I have so many events this week. So. And who said they're going to the Meta Hackathon?
I was thinking about it.
You're thinking about it? You should go. It's a lot of fun. You know,
What's the Fiesta thing?
Fiesta is a big, huge community event. It's like founders, educators, investors, and then you have like 7 companies that pitch on stage. So you can learn like what are they doing, what's happening. They have food, drinks. Like about 200 people tend to show up. It will be their last one for the year. There will not be an event in December.
So what newsletters?
How do we find it?
Tomorrow is 5:30, that's everybody.
So I actually go to a newsletter meetup here in Austin.
You go to a newsletter meeting?
Yeah, I go to a newsletter meetup where everybody has like newsletters that are launched. So I find out like all the different industries. Like there's one lady that has a newsletter just for emergency services.
Okay.
Oh wow. Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
So, but again, people want my newsletter for free food, so.
Yeah.
I gotta kind of get on that.
Yeah, it's
And with that said, if you wanna keep in touch, that's my LinkedIn. We do have to be out of here in 3 minutes, so if you wanna talk further, I will be downstairs at the elevators. Yes. So that's my email if you have questions. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. But yes, I have to wrap up and get everything out of here and make sure the room is nice and clean.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What is that?
So it's time to go to the beach.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
It was
absolutely,
for you.
yeah, thank you. Oh, nice, yeah, good to see you. I laid out, and I'll see you not just yesterday morning. It's a lot of fun. Just being downstairs, first floor, 5:30.
Okay.
It runs until. Hopefully they can make, I have to file people's taxes. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, super helpful. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a blind event, but they have reception items, so that would be what they could do now.
Business. Let us get here because one of the biggest cities for startups, Let's see if I can make connections.
So you already here
Talk to people.
or you came or you come now? Okay, so how has it been so far? So you're going to San Francisco? You came from San Francisco?
I'll send you a note. I don't know.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so what are your interests?
No, it's very vibrant, there's a lot of things happening. Hard to get an overview in maybe first, but
So that's, yeah,
we
so
did
that,
a lot of interesting events and
I'm surprised
a
that
lot of good
crypto
insight.
thing wasn't going on. Or
Wow.
Okay,
It's related, all the news related, it's product and promotions.
So yes, what are you guys doing?
Building this hardware product. Yeah, that's we're just like innovating a little bit on the portable monitors. There's a lot of different portable monitors that we create this unique design. It's the most innovation is user adoption is acceptance is very important. It will be interesting to see how well.
What's that?
Because in San Francisco, yeah, California, everybody knows.
It's either that or SAPS.
No, I haven't been there.
Why don't we exchange?
Yeah. Eric Reimagining.
Like a content creation kind of service?
Are you going to the kids club tomorrow? Any other events that you looking forward to?
Are you coming tomorrow at the event?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is like the,
That's right.
From what I learned, Lens is here,
Yeah.
and maybe I will stay here and attend anything what's happening.
Well, there's so many
But
buckets
social media, like,
but it's nice.
It's like for me, it seems like all very concentrated around this thing that I work a while. It's also.
Actually, I checked through co-ops, I did the rounds there, but I see that, everything is. I'm gonna have a look at it. I'll tell you my impression tomorrow.
Alright guys, we're gonna be out. Yes.
So I'm going to
I think I found the event you talked about on Wednesday, no, Wednesday.
Okay.
Yes, that was the Korean thing.
Yeah.
It was start at 9:30.
illustration, they do 3D, they do Instagram filters or TikTok filters, anything to generate content, yeah. And I do work myself, but there's someone that mostly focus on the business.
Yeah.
están cerca de aquí, una posibilidad que me dieron. Entonces, ¿qué yo quiero? Quiero mantenerme aquí los días que esté de descanso allá. Yo no quiero irme de aquí. ¿Entiendes? Porque yo voy a trabajar allí. Yo voy a tener, si usted me puede dar su teléfono personal, yo le comunico. Para yo pasar a mi sketch semanal y cosas para los días que me puede dar trabajo, que yo vengo y trabajo ese día a 8 horas, 9 horas, el tiempo que haga falta. Pero no puedo perder aquella oportunidad porque aquí realmente yo no soy un obrero de ella es hermana. Yo no sé por qué esta gente hablan tan mal de ella, pero ella es hermana. Yo estaba mirando las fotos de la boda de María, yo creo que el marido de María es uno alto que trabaja ahí. Nada más se contigo repartiendo cosas. De María, la supervisora, la chinita, con el que se casó. Sí, de alto, medio achinado así. Oye, no sé de dónde es. Yo te voy a enseñar la foto cuando llegue a casa porque no sé. No hace zapatos. Ese muchacho yo lo veo para afuera con algunos de cosas y no lo veo que habla con nadie ni nada. A mí que ese fue el que se casó porque José subió una foto y es ese muchacho. Esa mujer tiene una familia entera metida ahí. ¿Qué te hizo la aplicación? Lejos. No te saldrá el récord ese de que trabajaste en un lugar. No, hazlo, si te sale bien y si no también. A lo mejor no te pusieron nada, te dijeron eso para que tú no hicieras el intento de entrar en el lugar. Si al final tú no hiciste el intento, te lo dan por ayudar. Cuando te hiciste sin carrera venezolana, yo estoy segura que esa mujer se enamoró de ti. La mujer se lleva muy bien contigo y apenas llegué a ella. El compañero era muy bien. Tranquilo, miren, que lo que hay que tener vida, mira yo muy poco quiero de la medianoche. Mientras no tenga vida, una uña, y aquí estoy trabajando con un dolor en el pecho, pues solo yo sé. Eso es golpe también. Claro, los golpes mismo. Yo a mí eso, un accidente, eso es lo más, yo a mí eso no te lo tiempo nada. Yo tengo un accidente, yo vivo en un carro, el carro volcó y yo salí desconfido, y yo no sé para nada, yo tengo la primera vez, y hasta que caí pero todo, como un sapo, y estaba así perdido de frente. Una noción, vaya, se te va la noción. Ahí te define un segundo. Te voy a decir que voy a comprar un papel de Dios y lo voy a poner en la sala de la casa, porque te voy a decir que a nosotros... Ah, tú sabes lo que voy a hacer, te voy a dejar de eso para que me compre la tarjeta, para que me compre los medicamentos y como tú entras allá a las 9 me lo das y ya cuando venga ya ve la tarjeta, ve los medicamentos comprados y todo eso. Pero tú puedes entrar, irte un momentico antes y entrar allá al chivo y comprarme los medicamentos. Mañana. Yo me voy a las 5:30 de la tarde, pero yo salgo a las 2:30 y a las 3 de la tarde en la casa y yo tengo que salir disparada. ¿Cómo no te lo van a vender, Johanny? Yo no le buscaba los medicamentos a papi a las farmacias. Si no te lo venden, no te lo venden y ya no lo compras. Te van a buscar a la policía. hablemos después, yo no puedo estar hablando por teléfono, si viene esa mujer y me coge.
Siempre que te pasan así todo un buen día.
Sí, porque come, calienta el pollo ese y que hay bastante pollo limpiado de eso ahí.
Ahí sí,
Porque el que hay en la cacharra es muy poquito, no te vas a llenar con eso. Sírvete bastante en un plato. ¿Y el frío de afuera?
Ahí está, sí, pero no sabes. Un guardado.
Sí, pero igual que yo, pero mañana no va a ser frío, anunciaron sol para mañana.
No, que tú vas a pagar, pues si vos tienes como, no es que una posibilidad. Si tú vienes por la lluvia, y pues ya mucho tiempo, y es muy rápido.
Ese tipo venía marihuana, ¿no? Con dos patas que me den yo me conformo.
Okay.